All righty then. Well, guys, welcome in to another In the Blind with Daddy Duck 365. I am, as always, fixing to tell you this show is brought to you by www.daddyduck365.com, where you can get all your Daddy Duck merchandise, shirts, hats, hoodies. Also brought to you by Salt Creek Custom Ammunition. Listen, if you're looking for some good ammunition, then you need to get a hold of Salt Creek. He's got everything from waterfowl loads, turkey loads, coyote loads, deer loads, whatever you need, he's got it. Also brought to you by True Lock choke tubes. Listen, I've been shooting them for a while. I'm really happy with them, and they pair really well with Salt Creek Custom Ammo. Also, with Biscuit Built 3D, the tree strap that I have, I've been using it this season. I am absolutely happy with it. It's one of the best products that I have found in a long time. So with all that said, let's get started. Troy, what's going on? 678 Outdoors, what's happening? How y'all doing? How is your duck season going so far? We're down to the last 30 days, so how's it going? Mine here in South Carolina has been kind of pitiful. Been shooting a lot of wood ducks. Got some on film, some I couldn't get on film because of the light. Chris, what's going on, buddy? Glad you could make it. Just been shooting a lot. We've been shooting a lot of wood ducks here. Went out last Saturday, didn't even pull the trigger. We were hoping for some divers, some ringnecks, bufflehead, something. It just didn't happen. There's a serious weather front coming in. We had a little bit of rain today, warm temperatures today, but it is dropping. I think it doesn't show me on my computer here what the temp is. Usually it does. So we're expecting some serious weather. So I expect if we're going to have a push, it's going to be coming this week, probably this weekend. I'd say between Wednesday and Friday, if the ducks aren't coming, they ain't going to be here. Yes, you have, Chris. I've been watching you, man. I know what you've been doing. Hopefully, Grant, what's going on, buddy? Go to Kings Bay everywhere. Yeah, they're on the refuge and they're on private ponds, dude. Just that, but I'm talking about public water. I crossed over Caney's Bay the other day and I didn't see the first duck. Now I haven't been to the ponds in the back, but I did cross Caney Bay Saturday and I did not see the first duck. Jeff, what's going on? Could have been a time of day that I crossed, but Grant saying had gone a few times, haven't fired a shot. I am hopefully, and I'm pretty sure this is going to happen, but I'll be leaving not this week, but next week. I'll be leaving for Arkansas. I'm going to meet up with Chris from OARC Outdoors and Bryce. He had a little TikTok kind of thing going on, some Instagram. But we're all going to meet up. I'm going to have Swamp Goose with me, and we're headed to Arkansas. Well, if you're on them, dude, you're on them because I'm not going to be hunting around. There's a few places I just won't hunt. I don't care what's there. I don't care what's there. It's just too crowded, and I'm not going to go fight that crowd. And I think I know where you're talking about. I ain't ready, or I ain't ready for what? Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. All I got to do is that gun bougie. I got to do a little repair work to the trailer. Saturday, I was at a public boat ramp, and we got back to the boat ramp, and someone cut the wire to my trailer harness, busted out a tail light, and for whatever reason decided they wanted to put grease on my trailer jack handle. Why? I have no idea. I didn't cut anybody off at the ramp. There was only one other truck there, and they were there when we got there. I don't know what I did to them to upset anybody, but if you're watching and listening right now, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. And hopefully we'll never meet. Your truck's still packed from last week. Bougie, you're either going to stay in or stay out. One or the other. Get in here. Sit down. Nope, wasn't in their spot. Nobody came up to us. Nope. There was one other boat that came from the opposite direction from that ramp. I don't know how in the world they thought I was in their spot. It's public land. You want to get there. Try not to get there 30 minutes before shooting time. But it didn't work out anyway. We only saw 10 birds the whole morning. So I don't know what they were upset about, but if that was them. But anyway, regardless. Yeah, I'm ready. I got to work on my trailer. Got everything to do it Saturday, and something came up. I couldn't get it done. Of course, I had to work Sunday. I worked today, hoping that, and plus it poured down rain just about all day today. So, hopefully tomorrow evening when I get off work, I'm going to rewire my trailer. Shouldn't take that long. Pull the old wire off, thread the new wire in, put the new trailer lights on, and go on. Remind me to tell you what happened Saturday at the WMA we all went to. All right. I will, when we talk tomorrow, I guess I'll ask you that. But yeah, we're gonna head out, and now we gotta hear. What's up, Jeff? I think you'll be getting new birds soon. 16-inch snow just south of me. I hope they're getting new birds in Arkansas, and hope they stick around. But we're gonna head out there a week from Wednesday. We're gonna leave, I believe. Hunt Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get there Thursday, get our gear squared away, get our stuff squared away, and then get on then go. I'm dragging my boat out there, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we don't get any, if there's no birds, it ain't gonna it ain't gonna happen. We're expecting this Friday, at least that's the last I saw of the weather, and somebody's got a more updated version. Let me know for South Carolina, but there is a chance of there's a chance of precipitation. But it may turn into sleet. It may turn into snow Friday night into Saturday morning. I won't be able to hunt this Friday because of some obligations that I have. But if it starts to snow, man, I'm gonna be out there Saturday. If nothing else, just to hunt in the snow. We don't get to see it that often. Question for the Harvest Report. There's a decent amount of gadwall shot in South Carolina, but I've never seem to see them. Do you see many gadwall in South Carolina? We see a few. I have not this season seen any. Troy saying they sees them all the time. Charles Holden, what's going on? I'm just not seeing them where I'm going. I hunt some areas that are pretty good for gadwall. They like the area that I hunt in. I mean, but I have not seen any. I'm telling you now, all I've shot this season is wood ducks and shot a few widgeon early, but that was it. That's been it. And I know some private places have got plenty of ducks. They got plenty of mallards. They got gadwall. They got pintails. They got widgeon, ringnecks. I don't get invited to those hunts, so it is what it is. But we're going to hit Arkansas up for 3 days this year and see what we can do. Next year is going to be a little bit different. We got some things coming up. Hopefully next year. This year, if it doesn't happen in Arkansas, I doubt very seriously it's going to happen. We may get a couple of good hunts after that. Yeah, I just don't see them, brother. I wish I could sit there and tell you I see a good amount. If I shot a good amount of gadwall, you would see them. I guarantee you would see them in pictures. Pictures or video or something, but I've also been doing a lot of beaver pond hopping this year, hunting with some really good friends. I'm going to get into one of them guys in just a minute. Kind of waiting on someone to see if they show up. But I've been hunting with these guys. We've just been going around shooting, get in there, shoot a few wood ducks, and then get out, leave, go back a week later and try it again. I've honestly only put my boat in the water, 3 or 4 times this year. I'm not going to go out there and try to beat that crowd on these public lands. I'm getting to the point where, the last time not the last, but the week before, we shot some wood ducks, but we had somebody setting up within 80, 90 yards of us. And if that, they just come up on top of you. Saturday we had fishermen that came up on top of us. I mean, it's just the public area is just getting aggravating, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting old and crotchety, and I'd rather go somewhere else and hunt public somewhere else than have to deal with the yahoos that are around here, to be quite honest. If I upset somebody, oh well, I'm getting new trailer wires and come cut those if you want. Yeah, but I'm serious. It's getting to the point where no one respects how far away they are from you. They just try to get on top of you, and no matter how much you try to talk to them, they're going to get right on top of you, and I'm getting tired of it. So I would rather hunt some private, even if it means just a couple of wood ducks. I would rather go out of state where there's plenty of room and plenty of ducks, and everybody kind of respects everybody. That's what I would rather do. Let's see here. Grant's saying only one gadwall for the year this year. One of my buddies, one of the guys that come in here all the time, Mr. Mark, He suffered a heart attack. I believe it was Saturday. They had to airlift him to one of the hospitals. He is doing fine. He had triple bypass surgery today. He is doing well. He's doing good. And I talked to text his wife earlier today, and he's doing fine. The doctor says he's going to come through all this with no problems. He probably stay 4 or 5 days in the hospital, and probably 6, 7, 8 months of recovery. So if y'all can, in your prayers, think of appreciate that, Chris. Think about Mark and his family while he's recovering. Mark's been a very good friend of mine here locally. Again, he's one of the subscribers. He's become a really good friend of mine. And I go there. I go and visit him. This past summer, I was over there 3-4 times a week, training Bougie. And yes, Jeff, that's Mark T. And we go to his place to train the dogs, and we've shot a few ducks at his place this year. So he has become a really good friend of mine, someone who I admire a lot. And I just kind of want to let y'all know to be praying for him and his family. Tomorrow, our late zone closes out the Panhandle. We'll have the open zone. They'll have a zone open, but that is an 8-hour drive away and not much for public hunting. Okay. I'm kind of glad. I'm in a way, I'm kind of glad that South Carolina doesn't have these zones, but it might not be such a bad idea. I don't know. I'd have to do some serious thinking on that one. I think it works better out west than it does here. Y'all got more ducks. I mean, even though it's been a bad year everywhere. What's up, RD? What's going on? Tell Noah I said hey. But if y'all can keep Mark and his family in your prayers, it'd be greatly appreciated. Let's see here. I wonder if Keith's going to show up, or is he hiding in here somewhere? Mark Taylor had a heart attack Saturday, and they airlifted him to a hospital in Columbia, and he had a triple bypass done today. He is doing better. I talked to his wife earlier. He's hurting and a little groggy, but he is doing good. He should be there 4 or 5 days, and then hopefully he'll be back home doing recovery for about 6 or 7 months. But the CV doctor said that he came through fine. So I just want you to be praying for him. If anybody's got his phone number, don't bother him. I'm not even bothering him. If I got to talk, if I got to send a message, I send it to his wife. And I will relay any messages that y'all have for him through his wife and a good friend of ours, Coleman. And anyway, Kentucky Hunter, how you doing? I'm assuming KY means Kentucky, so let's see here. Appreciate that information, Chris. Thank you so much. Let's see here. So that's the big news this week. All I want to do now is get to Arkansas and shoot some birds, or at least see some birds. Meet up with some people and talk to them and get some more Do you have a custom sight on your gun? No, I do not. I mean, I have a Tacticam on it, and when I do have a Barris sight, but I don't use it for duck hunting. I use it mainly for turkey hunting. When I can take it on and off and attach it to any of my shotguns that I got, but I don't have a sight on it. But hoping to, like I said, get to Arkansas, meet up with some new people, and or at least meet up with some people in person for the first time. I've known them through the social media for quite some time, Chris and Bryce, and I'm hoping to maybe start going out there more than I have been and having a place to go to. Along with that, the Oklahoma thing is still in the works, and if we get that lease, I guarantee you I'll be going there at least twice a year, if not more. Do I like a middle bead? Jeff, I've shot so many without that middle bead that I don't even pay much attention to it. To be quite honest with you, nothing that I have now has one that I can think of. I don't think I have one that has a middle bead on it, to be honest with you. If it does, I should have paid much attention. You got a Retay for Christmas. How do you like that gun? To be honest, I've heard some good things about it. How do you like it? Tell me your thoughts on the Retay. I've never shot one, but I've heard some really good things about it. So, mid-bead's only good for setting up your setting for your gun for fitting. It's true. I just never really paid attention to. I don't even pay attention. I barely pay attention to the front bead, to be quite honest. I just try to get my head down and swing out in front. What's going on, Mark J. Larson? What's happening? Yeah, we're doing good. Doing real good. I've thought about getting a Retay in one of the sub gauges. I like those. I know that me and RD have the little feud going on between 12 gauges and sub gauges, and it more or less it's just kind of funny, to be quite honest with you. But I do love shooting them, man. I do love shooting them. I've also found out that the bigger gauges, when you buy them, they have a longer stock on them. It had. I can't get it. I can't show it up here to even go in there and look at it. I just don't ever pay attention to it. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I just don't pay attention to it. I noticed that like your 12 gauges, they have a longer stock on them. Your sub gauges have a shorter stock, which is to me kind of weird. But I do know that when I layer up, when you do have those cold mornings, that shorter stock comes in handy because you're not getting it caught up on your clothes, and I'm not catching it all in my beard. So. That's what I'm saying. It's just a joke. I know that, everybody and there's nothing wrong with the 12. I like them. I got them. I shoot them. I personally I love the 16 gauge. The 28 gauge is really starting to get me a little wondering because those 28 gauges, they throw such a better pattern. They throw such a better pattern than any other guns. It's absolutely remarkable. I'm not really down for a 410 in South Carolina. We don't have any to play around to miss. I would listen, RD. I joke about the 410. It would be a wooded swamp or timber hunt if I'm going to shoot one. And I got to have decoy. There's no pass shooting ducks. I'm not pass shooting anything. It is strictly a timber decoy and birds coming into the decoys. Going to hunt the coast next weekend. Awesome, dude. My 20 is no joke. I have a 20. It's a really nice Remington 1100. It's just too nice to take into the swamp. It really is. I mean, even my 28 that I have now is really a nice gun to take in the swamp. I am hang on ish. Hang on just one second. Let me get this thought out of my head. I just think and I've been thinking this year that I may try to get a composite 28, a composite 20, another composite 410, because my 410 and the 28 and the 20 are all wood and steel, and I wouldn't mind getting something composite. So if it does, it just won't get messed up. The wood and stuff just won't get messed up while you're hunting. That's what I'm getting at. Troy says, don't know what to expect. Listen, I don't know where you're going, but you can expect a little bit of everything. Depending on where you're going, if you're hunting open water or you're hunting impounds or even some flooded timber and stuff. I mean, you can have everything from wood ducks to canvasbacks. I mean, it's really wide open. It can be wide open. I know there's still a lot of teal down there from what I've been hearing. Pintails, widgeon. Somebody was telling me that there were some black ducks. Come to find out, they were mottled. He sent me a bunch of pictures. So I looked at his, and it was a model. It wasn't a black. He thought he'd shot a black. But I am hearing some blacks are starting to show up in front of the front. So you just never know. Hey, man, Horry County Hunter here. I was watching some of your old videos earlier today and watched the rice videos with Ty. Can you get him back on now that it's been 4 years for an update? I can try. I will give Ty another call and say, hey, would you like to come on back on and let's do an update video? Is there anything in particular you want to know? If you have some questions on this that you'd like to ask him, hey, feel free, shoot me an email at daddyduck365gmail.com. Shoot me those questions. It can be, whatever you want. So I can hopefully answer some of your questions, get him to answer some of your questions for you. But yeah, I'll give him a call. It will probably be after the duck season, to be quite honest. He's duck hunting. I'm duck hunting. I got to get him in February or March because he's going to start planting again. So can you use a lithium in place of a SLA battery for my goose e-collar? I don't know. I've never used an e-collar, an electronic collar for geese. We don't have them here, so I don't use them. And I'm assuming you're talking about for snow geese, Jeff. So I have no idea. Yeah, I haven't talked to Ty in a while. We talked a little bit before the season. We talked a little bit over the summer, just in passing and whatnot. But I will certainly. You send me the questions, I will get a hold of him and hopefully get them answered for you, dude. Yeah, I hope you do well, Troy. There could be a lot of ducks. The thing about me and the coast is I'm not set up for the coast to coastal hunt. All my rigs are 4 to 6 foot long. I do have a few long lines. I do have a decoy mat, but most of everything is your tides change so drastically, just so drastically that you can go from no water to 20 foot of water in the same spot. I mean, it's crazy, and I'm not set up to hunt that way. My boat's not set up that way. I don't have the boat for it. I don't have the amount of decoys that you need. I don't have the rigs, long enough rigs to do it. So I hope the best for you, bud. I think you're right, RD. I don't think we can use e-collars for waterfowl and sucker. I know we can't use them for waterfowl, and I know we can't use them for Canadas. I don't think you can use them for even snow geese because we just don't get enough of them here. I know North Carolina gets a lot of snow geese, but I don't think they have a conservation. I don't think they have a conservation season. If that's what you're inquiring about, snow goose conservation season, it starts in February. We got stupid golf course geese. Yeah, you're right on that. We can use e-collars for crows, coyotes, things like that. But as far as geese, I honestly, Jeff, I don't see why you couldn't, but you may have to do some research on that one. So, I don't use them, so I don't know. I honestly couldn't give you a good answer. If there's somebody in here that has that answer, please feel free. Say it in chat. I don't see why you couldn't, but then again, you might not be able to. Let's see. Chris, are you still here? Where did that? Is that going to be in our area? Curiosity, or was that a friend of you? Another friend sent that to you? Yeah. I could give you a lot of reasons, a lot of differences. Number one is a lot more ducks in public areas. That's number one. There's a lot more public hunting there. Arkansas caters to the duck hunter there. That's a lot of their revenue. They get a lot of revenue from duck hunters coming from, not only just the local hunters, but out-of-state hunters, hotels, restaurants, not far. Okay. A whole slew of differences. The main reason is majority, if you're going to be hunting public land, especially flooded timber, they flood that timber. Arkansas floods it. They drain it off when the season ends. They let the natural grasses grow. They let the trees, rejuvenate. I'm going on a public trip. Dakota Decoys suck. Yeah, by permit only. That's right, Charles. You are correct on that. I keep forgetting about that permit only. So yeah, there's a lot of differences, man. And just the fact they got it's you got the Mississippi and Central Flyway right there. You got tons of ducks that come through there. There was a time that South Carolina had a 5 mallard limit and Arkansas had a 1 mallard limit. And people from Arkansas would come here to hunt. There was a time we had lots of wild mallards here. I mean, lots of them. I caught the tail end of all of that, but it was still, there was some great hunting here. I mean, great duck hunting here. That's why you have a lot of South Carolina, especially the older crowd like myself, who are basically saying, you know what, I'm tired of it. I'm going out west. I'll take 3 or 4 trips a year, go out west and get my fix. Maybe hit a beaver pond up, throughout the year to shoot a few wood ducks. But it's the hunting here has just gotten so terrible. The Atlantic Flyway pretty much, but mostly South Carolina. And it's, I'd just rather go somewhere. I would rather spend my money with somebody who appreciates the fact that I'm coming down there. Oh man, oh gosh. All right, ducks. I could go on this for hours, buddy. I mean, for hours. Ducks need 3 things, and they only need these 3 things. They need food, they need water, and they need rest. That's all they need. If they've got those, they do not need to migrate. They just don't need to go. So if they got open water, they're going to stay. They got food and open water, they're definitely going to stay. If the ducks are getting rest and not getting hammered on every day, they're going to stick around. The private areas here in South Carolina, let me tell you something. There is a lot of ducks still here. Lots of ducks, especially on the impounds in the private areas. Why? Because they have food, they have water, and they have rest days. They generally only hunt Wednesdays and Saturdays. Generally, a lot of them only hunt when they, when they have a certain amount of birds, and they'll call their friends and say, hey, come shoot some ducks with us. So they manage it. And I'm going to be very specific in this talk here. Santee Cooper does not manage for waterfowl. They're not in that business. It's just not their business. Their business is electricity. So there's very little food. There's plenty of water, but there's very, very little food in the Santee Cooper Lake systems. Now, prior to Hydral, we had oak trees everywhere. A lot of them went away when Hurricane Hugo came through. There's still quite a few. But the ducks would leave the refuge. There was no impounds. They would leave the refuge. They would go up in the swamp. They'd feed on acorns. So there's hardly any food left. So when the acorn trees started going away, you could see a decline in mallard populations that were wintering here in our area. But we got something known as Hydral that came in, and it brought us a lot of other ducks. It brought us a lot of gadwall, widgeon, pintails, divers, ringnecks, bluebills, redheads, canvasbacks. So you got you had a food source for them. Believe it or not, if you go to a place and you see thousands and thousands of coots, generally speaking, you're going to see that many or more ducks. The more coots you have, the more ducks you have. Well, coots eat hydrilla. So they eat other things too, but they love hydrilla. So when they got rid of the hydrilla because of a couple of reasons, one of them was hydrilla filters the water. It would get contaminants. The coots eat the contaminants. The eagles would then eat the coots. And they're saying that the eagles were dying from some kind of poisoning from the coots. That's one thing. And then you've got, but what also you had in hydrilla was invertebrates. So your freshwater shrimp, your little small minnows, your little insects, your little bugs, all these things that ducks need, especially in the wintertime, because the hens, they need that protein in order to produce better eggs. They need it. That's a fact. They need that protein. Carbohydrates, corn, rice, millets, smart weeds, those are all carbs. They need that when it gets cold. They do not need they need it when it gets colder, but they need the protein to make a better egg production. So you've got that going on here in South Carolina. Now the whole East Coast, you got to remember something else. There's not a everybody's building on the East Coast. From Maine to Florida, your wetlands are being destroyed and the ducks have no place to go. They just don't have that many places to go. So if the wetlands are getting destroyed, they don't have a wintering area. Some of the ducks that are residents, like you do have some mallards that are residents. A lot of your wood ducks are resident birds. We are seeing mottled ducks nest. We've been seeing them nest here. We've seen the whistling tree ducks, your furbalus and your black belly. They've been nesting here. But these nesting areas are going away. The wintering areas are going away. So it's just happening. And so you got reduction in food, reduction in rest, and we'll get to the rest here in a second. You also have a reduction in where they can go, where they can winter. The Atlantic flyway mallard, basically the Santee Cooper National Wildlife Refuge is their last wintering stop. They'll go a little farther south, of course, but in general, the last place they winter is going to be at the Santee National Wildlife Refuge, whether it be over at Caney Bay or where it's going to be at Cuddo. That is going to be their last stop. That's where the bulk is going to stop. Now, yes, they quit. They do plant a little at Cuddo and Santee, but they don't plant like they used to. And now you've got all these impounds that are everywhere. There's over 200 from Jacks Creek. I'll tell you what, if you go from Highway 15 south, right before you get to Caney's Bay, and then start heading west, and before you get to Sparkleberry Swamp, you're going to have about 200 or so, or probably even more, private impounds. Now, I'm not going to sit there and knock private land ownership down, because I'm telling you, if I had the money, I would do the same thing. I just wouldn't plant what they're planting. They plant corn. I would probably go with rice, or probably go with a moist soil kind of deal. That's just the way I am. It's just the way I like it. But you've got all these impounds, and they give rest days. If you're on the lake every day and you're banging away at ducks, or you're running your motors, whether it be a mud motor or an outboard, it really doesn't matter. But if you're running those creeks and that swamp, and you're not slowing down, and you're blaring music, and you're banging away, shooting at summer ducks, you're just not going to see them anymore, because they're going to get up and go somewhere else. They got to have rest days. One of the things I like about North Carolina is there's no Sunday hunting for waterfowl in North Carolina. I like that. That gives them a day of rest. Now, I know, myself included, a weekend warrior wants to go hunting on Saturday and Sunday. Well, you got a decision to make. And do you want, and this is really hard for a lot of the youth of today, because you're more geared into get what I can now, and then I'm not going to worry about later. Well, here's the thing. You got to start worrying about later. If you're going to continue to duck hunt in South Carolina, you've got to worry about later. And we're almost to a point, and I think we've even passed that point, where we're not going to be able to get anything back. But with that said, we need a day that there is no waterfowl hunting. I know a lot of friends of mine will jump up and down, scream, holler, have conniption fits. I got it. I understand it. Go right ahead. You ask me what I think, I'm going to tell you. And I'm not going to hold back. I think everything above Pax Landing, all the way to Congaree Watery, on that right-hand side, if you're going up the river, should be turned into a WMA. The whole thing. And there should be no hunting past 11 o'clock. And there should be no one going in there, to include fishermen, during the duck season. That's going to be hard for people to do. That's really going to be hard for people to do. But the thing is, if you're running your boat and say, "Oh, I'm going fishing," you're still running up ducks. You're still running ducks up. You're still scaring them back, and they're going to find another place to go. Case in point, I have a good friend of mine who has a little piece of property, and they have been banging away on wood ducks they've been banging away on wood ducks all season. He gives me a call and says, "Man, we ain't got no more ducks. I don't know what's going on. They were here. Now they're just gone." I said, "Well, dude, you're banging on them every day. You're shooting. You may not be killing them all, but you're shooting. They're going to get up. They're going to go somewhere. They don't have anywhere to rest. You got to give them a rest day. You've got to give them that time." Well, Green Tree is a WMA. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you're trying to imply, but yes, Green Tree is a WMA, and they hunt Saturdays only, I believe it is. I have never hunted, believe it or not, I've never walked into the Green Tree when it became a WMA. When it became the Green Tree Reservoir, I've never hunted it. Now, before that, I used to hunt it all the time during natural floods, but I have not hunted it since. So yeah, I'm just saying they need to turn it. There needs to be some serious thought in the public hunting here in South Carolina. You have 3 types of categories here. Now, most everybody knows of 2, the category 1, which is a lottery draw. And you could spend up to 7 years trying to get that lottery draw. Then there's Cat 2, which is your basic WMA, similar to Hickory Top or Green Tree, where they only hunt a couple of days, 1 day a week. Some are 2, but most are 1. These cat 2s need to, I can tell you now, they need to have a limit on people. They need to close the roads off and, lock them down, station somebody if they got to, and allow, when people come in, they draw a number and they either get picked or they don't get picked, but they need to slow the number of people going in there. That's one thing they need to do there in that particular area. That's a fact, Jack. There's too many people going in there banging away. You can't work ducks. You can't get them to sit down. You may get them what you think is close, but I'm talking about actually sitting down. You can't do that when somebody's competing with you less than 100 yards away. It's just too much. That's something that needs to be considered, that, closing half the swamp down to 11 o'clock. I remember the days when everything west of I-95, it was closed at 12. It was no hunting after 12. I remember those days. We had a 30-day season. I think that needs to come back. Of some shape or form, that needs to come back. But again, you have fishermen out there, and nothing against fishing. I like to fish. Everybody in here, I don't think there's a person in this room that doesn't like to fish, or deer hunt, or turkey hunt, or whatever. They just like to get out and hunt, but their passion is duck hunting. And if you're gonna have birds in your area, especially here in South Carolina, you have got to give them rest time. You've got to give them time that they can relax and do their thing. That's another reason. I'm just telling you, that's one of your biggest reasons, dude. Why we don't have them here, and why everybody goes to Arkansas. I mean, even Arkansas, they have certain time periods through their season where if you're a non-resident, you can't hunt some of the public areas. It's closed off to non-residents. You can't hunt. Now you can hunt the private, the rice fields and whatnot, but you can't hunt the timber, which made Arkansas so famous. Certain times of year, you just can't do it. Now, I could talk about this for hours, dude. I mean, absolutely hours. I did a video a while back. Go check it out. It's called "Has the Migration Changed?" I sat in the swamp that day and turned the camera on, and I spent 4 hours out there talking, and made a pretty lengthy video out of it. I can't remember how long it was, to be honest with you, but and I do think the migration has changed a little bit. So, and that's because of the progress and the building and whatnot on the East Coast and Atlantic Flyway. So, yeah, they got to have a place to go to, and they got to have food. They got to have water. They got to have rest. You just can't bang on them 7 days a week. Your third category that I was telling you about is actually open public. They don't consider it a category, but it is. You might as well be. It's open public. So there's places, lots of places you can go to 7 days a week and hunt. And these places, they get banged on every day. Every day. Somebody's out there. What do you do? You gotta give them a rest day. You gotta give them a day of no hunting, nobody bothering them, nobody running up the rivers, and nobody running up through the creeks, running mud motors or even out regular straight up outboards or anything else. They just got to be left alone. And Charles is saying where he's at, North Carolina, our permanent draw hunts are only hunted 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. Then we give them 5 days of rest. Those are permanent hunts, but you do have open public where people just go out there but they will go out there every day, and they will run those creeks up and down. And they're no offense to my younger crowd in here, but y'all are blaring that dadgum music out of your out of them turtle boxes, and all you're doing is running ducks up, dude. You're spoiling. You're running ducks away. You're flushing ducks up. They're getting out of Dodge. They're not going to come back. You run through a raft of birds. Oh, they'll be back here tomorrow. No, they're not. They're not coming back there. They're gone. They're out of there. They don't want to be bothered. You're running your motors. You're not scouting properly. And yes, I do have a mud motor, and yes, they are loud. I love my mud motor, but when I go scouting, I'll get to where I'm going and I'll set that boat down, and I won't crank it up till I'm getting ready to leave. I'll sit there and listen. I let the woods quiet down, and I'll sit there. Case in point, last Friday was a scout day. Went to a place I hadn't been to in a long time, ran up the river, went off into this little flat, got to where I wanted to be to watch, not to where I wanted to hunt, but where I knew I could watch, and set the boat down, and I cranked it up. It was pitch black dark when I cranked it up again. I was watching. Why I didn't hunt there was I didn't see anything. Didn't see anything that I would want to drive to go to, that far to go to. So, I mean, treat duck scouting, treat scouting for ducks like you would treat scouting for deer or scouting for turkeys. You're not going to run through the woods screaming and hollering and carrying on. You're going to walk soft, right? Treat it the same way. Listen, open your ears and listen. You can hear the ducks, and if you know your area, you can pretty much say, well, they're going to be over there in that hole. We'll be here tomorrow morning, and let's back out of here and leave them alone. That's how you scout for ducks, just like you would do for deer or do for turkeys. You don't get out there, you're not running your four-wheeler up and down the road saying, oh, I just saw a big buck jump here. He's going to be here tomorrow. No, it ain't going to happen. You know as well as I do. Driving your truck down the road and you see turkeys in a field that you can hunt, and the worst thing you can do is stop your truck to watch them because they're gone. Just keep going. You say, okay, they're there. I'm going to keep going, and I'll come back. I'll come back in a day or two. They'll be here. The minute you stop, they get spooked and they're gone, dude. The same thing with ducks. Man. You're asking why. A good pair of binoculars, a very good investment for scouting or hunting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. That's why we don't have waterfowl here. Nobody taught a lot of these kids how to hunt. Are there days that I just run the swamp? Sure, there are. Sure. I usually do it before the season. I just get out there and I just want to run through the swamp. And I usually do it in the spring and summer. Come fall and I'm starting to scout, I'll set that boat down and watch. I'll set it down and watch, because basically I'm scouting for summer ducks or wood ducks. And I just want to see where they're flying from and where they're headed to. I can kind of pick out where I need to get in between. But I don't. I've been known to get on a river at daybreak or just before daybreak, just before what would be considered legal shooting time, and turn the motor off and just float and listen. Just listen. Get a paddle out keep myself in a straight line the best I can, and just listen. You'll hear it. I mean, if there's ducks in the area, you're going to hear them. The kayak is pretty stealthy. Mike, you are 100% correct, brother. It's just some of those places that I go to. You don't want to paddle that far in a kayak. And some of the places I go to is 30 minutes away from any boat ramp, and I don't want to paddle that far. But yeah, it's very stealthy, very stealthy. If you don't believe me on what I'm saying, I tell you what, go over to Dr. Duck and watch in some of his scouting videos and some of his, when they're scouting for ducks, they may scout 2 or 3 days before they find birds, and then they go out and hunt them. But they'll run to a place, they'll stop, they'll get out, and they start walking. They start listening. They don't need to see the birds. They just need to find them. Ducks are vocal. Mallards are very vocal. Wood ducks are extremely vocal. You're going to find them. Get out. If you don't believe me in this, go to Dr. Duck and watch him. If you don't believe Daddy Duck, go see Dr. Duck, But it's the honest truth. I can tell you, over 50 years of hunting, I've been doing the same thing when I'm looking for birds. And when you go 3 or 4 days in a row and you don't see any birds, don't hear any birds, you can count the number of birds on one hand or maybe even 2, then it's time to pack up and go somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying there's not birds here in South Carolina, because there are. There are lots of birds here, but they are on private property. I've been as far away as 10 miles from the boat ramp Pamplico Sound before. Yeah. That's a long drive, buddy. That's a long boat ride. I think the farthest I've ever been is an hour by boat, and that's running full blown on the way back. It took me an hour to get back. To get there, it took me an hour to get there, and it took me an hour to get back. That's a good piece. That's a good, that's what I'm saying. I went, like I said, last Friday. I took the day off from hunting. Hadn't seen anything. We were giving the beaver ponds a break, and we're giving them a rest day. I jumped in the boat and hooked the boat up. Off I went. Took a friend of mine with me, and I think I counted 12 wood ducks. 12. That was it. I said, nope, I ain't coming back here. I'm not coming here tomorrow. There's no sense in that to drive as far as we did for that amount of birds. So back I came and went somewhere else, and it was just as bad. No, like I said, our state, and this has nothing to do with DNR, nothing. This is Santee Cooper. What I'm talking about, I told you earlier, I was being very, very specific. Santee Cooper, Lake Marion, Lake Moultrie. There's just not enough food. There's plenty of water, but not enough food and not enough rest. And ducks need all three. They need all three. If they don't get all three, people say, well, we need the weather. No, a duck hunter needs the weather to push the ducks. Ducks don't need weather. They don't need it. They don't. I've seen mallards in snow-covered fields before, and ice, landing on ice, before. So the weather has nothing to do with them. It has to do with that. The weather is all about the duck hunter. So the ducks will go south because they'll lock it up. The place gets locked up. Their food source gets covered up. Their open water gets covered up. Again, I told you they need 3 things: food, water, rest. And they need all 3. So if they don't have food, they don't have open water, they're going to get up and they're going to go somewhere. I don't care how much rest they got. They need food and water. So they're going to get up and they're going to go. If they get banged on and don't get enough rest, they will get up and go. So they need all three of those things, where we just need weather to push them. So I hope I answered your question there, these nuts. I hope I answered it. Like I said, I can talk for hours on that subject. I've been run out of places because I talk too much on it. But it's a fact, and it's not that we need more. I think waterfowling is overregulated to begin with on a lot of things, but we got to make a decision. A decision has to be made on if we're going to continue to have ducks in our state. Something has to be done. More rest days, because we ain't got none right now, except on Cat 1s and Cat 2s and private land. If you guys that hunt Santee, and again, I'm being very specific here. If you hunt Santee, when do you hunt? When do you go? When is your best days? I can tell. I can tell you now the days that you're going to hunt the most are going to be on a Wednesday and a Saturday. Why is that? That's because the private impounds are shooting those days. Majority of them will shoot that day, those 2 days. That's why you go. That's why you go. You may hit somewhere else during the week, especially if you're in a school age and you're off for 2 weeks. Some of us will hit the massive cold fronts like we're having this weekend. But generally speaking, they're going to want to hunt Wednesdays and Saturdays. Why? Because that's when the other places are shooting. They don't get the rest of those 2 days, so they go try to go somewhere else. Think about that for a little while. Well, I'm glad you like the answer, buddy. Like I said, I can talk on that subject for hours upon hours. My wife hates it when I get asked that question when we're in public, because I'll tell that person, hey, I'll pull the tailgate down, so have a seat. You're getting ready to get a lecture. But it's just the honest truth, man. It's just the honest truth on that. Like I said, Arkansas caters to its people. They cater to the duck hunters because they know the more ducks they have, the better opportunities that people have. They're going to come there. They're going to get hotel rooms. They're going to get guided or hotel rooms. Restaurant business goes up. Services, places, and we're talking Arkansas, so might as well put in Max Prairie Wings. Max Prairie Wings, they probably sell the majority of their stuff gets sold from November when the season starts to the end of January. That's when they have their biggest moneymaker, So you've got, they make money. And if South Carolina would just understand that and start putting more money and more resources into the waterfowl hunting, we could gain that money. I mean, something happened down south to change their flight. I believe it's hunting clubs and guides that flood thousands of acres of corn. I got somebody that got mad at me one time, Jeff, because I was talking about this, and they said, I'm not worried about those 1 or 2 acre corn ponds. Well, I don't worry about 1 or 2 acre corn ponds. What I do worry about is 200 5-acre corn ponds that are on our lakes. And it's just not on the lakes. It's inland. It's north of us. And it just goes up and down the East Coast and the Atlantic Flyway. Go for a drive. go for a drive and go get on Onyx or HuntWise app and start looking at all the impounds that are in the state of South Carolina. It is absolutely crazy. Then go to North Carolina, and then go up to Virginia, then go up into Maryland and New Jersey and all these other places. Same thing. Go to Georgia, go to Florida. I mean, they're everywhere, and that's just the Atlantic flyway. Well, again, places like that, there is some river hunting here. Puddle ducks like shallow water. Okay. Puddle ducks love shallow water. You're going to shoot the majority of your ducks in 8 inches of water. And you got to remember, a puddle duck is exactly what that means. He tips up to feed on the bottom, right? Well, he can only feed as deep as his neck will go, right? Okay. So if you've got 20 foot of water, your ducks, I'm talking puddle ducks, they may go there to raft up and loaf and goof off a little bit, but where are they feeding at? They're feeding in shallow water. Well, the shallow water is surrounded by houses. So you got a lot of houses around places like Lake Murray. Your rivers are the same way. They may not have the houses, but majority, if you go and step off into you go down to Santee and step off on either side, man, you'll be floating your hat. 2 steps, you're floating your hat. Now they'll loaf in those areas, but they won't feed in those areas. So there's your thing right there. As far as those lakes, you'll see ducks. Now we're talking puddle ducks. We're not talking divers. Divers are a total different thing. They like their deep water. So you may have to change up your practice and go diver hunting and shoot ringnecks and buffleheads and bluebills if they got them, and redheads and whatnot. I saw thousands of teal a few weeks ago in Currituck. They all came off a 2-acre impoundment that were baited by an upscale hunt club that uses an Argo to run them off the impoundments on days they hunt. Yep, I wouldn't doubt it. The hunt club doesn't hunt the impoundments, just feeding and rest for the birds. Yeah. Yep. Same thing on the South Carolina coast. Same thing. Where you can hunt there is you got to be in the rivers and the creeks, and a lot of that's private land. You can't get in there. That's where you'll see the majority of your ducks. I don't have nothing against the private lands. I mean, again, if I had the money and I had the place, I'd have my own place, my own little piece of heaven. And if it wasn't for private land ownership in managing, because they manage for waterfowl, and if it wasn't for them, we would not have nothing in our state. Nothing. They'd fly right over us, fly right on by, head on into Florida. The mallards wouldn't. They just stopped coming altogether. But these birds, they so I don't hold nothing against private ownership at all. I'm just not a corn pond guy. I don't care too much for hunting corn ponds. Not saying I'm not going to ever build one. What I say, I'd never hunt one. It was at one time I said that. Then, to be quite honest, if I ever got an opportunity, I might do it here. But I just don't like corn ponds. Do you think there's good diver hunting is still in South Carolina still? Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. There's still some good places that you can shoot some divers. The problem is it's overcrowding with duck hunters. Um, and if you'll look, you'll see that there's a food source there for them. I will tell you that Santee Cooper has been planting eelgrass in Santee. I'm not going to tell you where. You just got to go out there and find it yourself, to be quite honest. But they are planting eelgrass, divers and widgeon and stuff like gadwall. They like eelgrass. Again, it holds a lot of invertebrates, and it usually will grow right up to almost to the top of the water line, to the top of the water. So it's a good thing. They are planting it, and it has taken root and is starting to spread. They're trying to do something that doesn't. It's not hydrilla, but I can tell you now, hydrilla is better. But eelgrass, divers like it, widgeon love it. Some, but there are days. I thought last Saturday was going to be a good diver day. Just even though it was sunny, we had a wind of 10 or 15 mile an hour on the lake coming out of the northwest. I just knew we were going to see divers, and we did not see the first one. Not the first one. So there you go. What I want you to do one of these days, and if you can do it this year, all good and great. If not, try to do it next year. If you don't go out of state, let's say you're just going to hunt South Carolina. If you guys that are from South Carolina, I'm talking to you very specifically. Or maybe some of you that are on the Atlantic Flyway. Next year, if you can do it this year, go ahead and do it. But write down every purchase that you make during duck season. Don't limit this to equipment. Don't limit this to a new gun or shells or decoys or waders or a jacket or a shell pouch or a bag. Don't limit it to all that. Gas money for your truck, for your boat, stopping at a convenience store to get drinks, snacks, a meal on the way back, stopping to get a biscuit on the way there or something to eat on the way back. Write all that down. Keep yourself a tally. If you're scouting, write that in as well. Yeah, that's 100% correct. Write down all of that stuff. Write the mileage. RD just put that. I was getting ready to say that. Write your mileage down. In your gas and all that stuff. Write it all down. If you're going on to do something about ducks and duck hunting, whether it's scouting, whether it's the actual hunt itself, write all that down at the end of the year, at the end of the duck season, see how much you spend. And I guarantee you that you could go out of state, go to a really good place, whether it be Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, the Dakotas. All right, Mark, take care of yourself, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Go to any one of these places and you can have a fantastic hunt. And you might be able to do it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, you might be able to do it 2 or 3 times. In 2 or 3 different locations. And I'm including that as a guided hunt with somebody or even a freelance hunt. I guarantee you're going to be able to do it. Or you can just stay here and go around and try to shoot 1 or 2 summer ducks and watch other ducks fly by or fly over you as they go across the lake from one pond to another. You know, now I say that, and I say that, but yet that's going to hurt your local economy. Your mom and pop gas stations, your mom and pop diners, your local sporting goods stores. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt them. But just do it and see how much money you spend. 2 years ago, I did it myself, and I could have had a nice down payment on a really, really new truck. That's how much I spent. Easily, RD. Easily. I'm telling you, I could have had a down payment on a very nice truck. Or I could have went. Oh, listen. I'm with you on that, brother. I am with you 100% on that. One of the most frustrating and most rewarding hunts I went on this year, and I went on two of them. I had two of them, and one I actually went to Louisiana where we shot 6 ducks in 3 days, 6 teal in 3 days. The birds weren't there, but I had a great time. I got to see something I've never seen before. I've never been to Venice, Louisiana. I got to see that. I ate some real great food. Got to meet some cool people. I got to hunt with my 81-year-old dad. That was his birthday weekend. I watched him catch a limit of redfish and sheep's head. On the last day, we had a great time. And a few weeks, maybe a month or so later, we went on a little wood duck hunt. We didn't even pull the trigger, but just the laughing and joking and carrying on that we had was great. It's great times. It's great memories. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of fun, but so there's a fine line between there of having a lot of fun and have a lot of fun shooting birds. And especially when he can get, has the opportunity to shoot a limit. There's a lot of fun in that too. And there's a lot of truth in all that. There's memories are a big thing. And I 100%, that's why I did that video, making memories. There's a lot of truth in that. We may not have burned them up, but I was making memories with my dad. I made memories with my son. I'm hoping to make memories with my grandson. But there's also making memories when you have a limit of ducks in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So there's a very fine line on that. There's a very fine line on that. It's crazy what a guy will go through to kill a duck. Oh, yes, sir. You got to be crazy to be a duck hunter. I hunted Biomeda in Arkansas 3 days about 20 years ago. Me and a few other guys. Probably cost us each one of us about $500 a piece, and we killed ducks. There were a lot of cheap. It was a lot cheaper back then. Yes, sir. A lot cheaper. South Carolina struggle makes it a lot more rewarding once you finally get a good hunt, though. Yes, it does make it rewarding. I'm not saying it doesn't, but the fact of the matter is you're going to get to a point. I don't know you guys personally. If I have met you, I just don't know you by your handles. Okay. But you're going to get to a point in life, if you're going to continue to duck hunt, that it's just going to get very, very frustrating when you go out there and you see 3 summer ducks or 3 wood ducks, and that's it. You might get a shot at one, and you end up with a busted up merganser, it's just going to be a point in your life where it's going to happen. And at 59 years old, it is hitting me to where I just, if I'm going to hunt in South Carolina, it's going to be on some beaver ponds, and I'm going to have fun shooting wood ducks. And I like shooting wood ducks. I like eating wood ducks. So, but if I want mallards or if I want something else, I got to go somewhere. And I'm not going to fight the crowd. You know as well as I do, you see one mallard and everybody and their brother starts highballing, thinking they're at on stage in Stuttgart, and they start screaming at that bird. He ain't coming in. He ain't gonna do it. It ain't gonna happen. He's gone. He's getting out of there. But you will get to a point in your life on that one. I'm just saying, if you getting out there, now I will say this year has been kind of bad for everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of ducks were killed in Arkansas this year. But for the most part, it's been a pretty bad year across the country because of the weather. But you got to go where you have the biggest chances, the best chances to seeing ducks, working ducks, to getting them in their decoy, getting them in the decoys. You really, it's then you'll find out what it's like. I mean, I took it for granted when I was a kid. I did. I mean, when you're shooting mallards in Santee Swamp, growing up as a kid, I took it for granted. That's just not going to happen again. What else? Amen, Brother Charles. Amen. Oh, sky busting and duck calls. Really bad calling. What is it, black powder when you were a kid? Pretty much. Pretty much, RD. Pretty much. Pretty much. There was no fast reloading. Flintlocks. Yeah. Yep. You're right, Charles. It was called lead. Oh, those were the days. My favorite, I've said this before on here and other places, but my favorite load was a Winchester Western Super X Baby Magnum 7.5 high brass. Man, that thing killed a bunch of ducks. If we couldn't find them, then we went to number 5s. Number 5 lead and 7.5 lead. But you had to have them high brass shells, not them dove and quail loads, them high brass 7.5. Oh. Jeff remembers lead. I know Charles does. Jeff does. Anybody else? Just out of curiosity, anybody else in here remember lead day? The lead days before it became illegal. I ain't talking about slipping a few in your pocket when you get in the swamp. Yes, sir. I know Charles and Jeff, myself. Anybody else in here remember those days? I got any old farts in here? Probably not. But it was like I said, I hope I answered Federal Light Magnum 2 3/4 number 6 was a good load. Yes, sir. I'm not going to deny that either. We just like the Winchesters. Double X Magnum. I thought I had a box up here. It might be somewhere else. I thought I had one of those boxes. I got a bunch of stuff in this room. Bunch of hunting stuff in this room. All over the place. It's gonna take me 6 weeks to clean it out when the time comes. Probably the day after duck season ends, I will spend a day cleaning this room. Right now, everything's thrown all over the place. Let's see here. So, like I said, guys, I hope I answered your questions on that. I love doing that. Those are the kind of interactions I really do love. People ask me those kind of things. Like I said, it's my opinion only. I ain't gonna steer you down the wrong road. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what it was, what it used to be, how it's going now. And I do love, and I still love. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sparkleberry Swamp holds a very big part of my life, and it holds a special place. The Hickory Top area, another special place. The Lower Lake, another special place. All these places are very special to me, and I have a lot of memories, a lot of photographs of these places. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not going to go anymore down there. I'm just saying that I finally have reached to that point where if I'm going to spend $50, $60 a day in fuel, to go down there, not to include everything else I bought, you know what? I can add some money to that and go someplace where there's a lot of ducks, and go there and shoot ducks and not worry, you know. Even if that means taking, hopefully, God willing, the river don't rise. We're going to get this lease in Oklahoma. All right, RD, take care. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Even if that means, you know, we get that lease in Oklahoma, and I only go down there a week at a time and go twice a year during the season for a week, and then maybe hitting Arkansas 2 or 3 times. And the rest of the time that I'm here running around shooting wood ducks off a beaver pond, I'll be happy. I'm going to be honest with you. But I've just gotten to that point where, you know, you go 2 or 3 days in a row and you don't see nothing. You go scouting and you don't see nothing. You go duck hunting, you don't see nothing. Something's got to give. And to be honest, if South Carolina doesn't want my money, then okay, I'll go spend it somewhere else. Because that's where it boils down to. Go to where people appreciate your money. Go to where they appreciate your money. And I'm not spending $20,000, $30,000 on a blind here in South Carolina. That ain't going to happen. Even if I had it, it still wouldn't happen. Be nice to go meet some new people, hunt with them, but I can't spend that kind of money. Yep, you got a South Carolina limit right there, buddy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just want to have good hunts. I want to bring y'all good hunts. I mean, honestly, other than it's been said in this chat room, you know, about rice and with Ty and has the migration changed and a lot of those other kind of videos. I mean, nobody wants to watch 2 or 3 wood ducks get shot or watch, sunrise come over to Santee. It's just not good film. I mean, I don't want to watch that. I surely don't want you to watch it just because it's me. I'd like for you to see me with a strap. That's why I started going to North Carolina a lot, because I was killing birds, and the last couple of years has just been terrible. I've been once to North Carolina this year. That's it. It's just been a terrible year. Now, I'm not saying that come this weekend it doesn't get turned on, but after this weekend, after Saturday, if I don't hunt Saturday, I'll be leaving Wednesday to go to Arkansas. And then when I get back, unless I hear some stuff and can see some stuff, I'll probably hit beaver ponds the rest of the last 2 weeks of the season, which will be about 2 or 3 more hunts, and that'll be it. That'll be it for the season. So it's only got 3 out of 12 people in here. I only got three of y'all that remember lead. You need to get some older people up in here, man. Well, besides, I don't know if the guy is still in here or not, but besides trying to get Ty back on to talk about an update on rice, what else? What else would you like to see on the off season? What would you like? I mean, because it's coming up shortly, and I'm already planning a few things. But what would you like? What are some things you'd like to see? The off-season duck stuff, or maybe non-duck stuff. But what would you like to see? Y'all give me some ideas. What y'all want to see? I got a couple new recipes that I've been working on. I hope to bring them forth during the off season, especially closer to the duck season. You still have hope. We are done, so hope ran out. All right, brother. Take care of yourself. I hope you have a good one, man. Have a great week. Thanks for stopping by. But I would like to know what y'all want to see. What kind of videos y'all are interested in. If you don't want to say it here, shoot me an email. Go that route. But y'all guys that are in South Carolina, if you don't know, it's been running across the page down there below. I do have a website that sells shirts and hats and whatnot. I got the Sparkleberry Swamp map, which for you South Carolina hunters might be interested in. It's got the old map of South Carolina on it. It's a pretty cool shirt, I think. I got 2 or 3 of them myself. Things work out right. I'm hoping to maybe start going to a few local local shows if things work out. I'll know more as it gets closer to springtime. But I'm hoping to go set up a booth someplace. Might be at the Palmetto Sportsman's Classic. If I don't get my stuff together before then it will definitely be the Somerton Duck Fest. We'll set up a booth down there next year. That's the plan. For you South Carolina boys that are in here, love to meet you. Love to meet you in person. Put some True Lock chugs on Piper, fishing, cooking, dog stuff, gear, etc. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be doing all that. I still got that idea in my head for I do have an idea for market hunting. Back in the day when they used to do market hunting, I got an idea for a video there that I want to get done quickly. Doing some work on some of these beaver ponds that my friends have that I told them I wanted to help them with. Hopefully get a few things of that done. I am planning on doing a little bit more fishing this year. I didn't do that much last year, but I am planning on this year. Some of the swamp wildlife, yeah. I plan on running the swamp a lot more than I did last year. Last year was just a tough year for me after the duck season. It just got real tough. So I plan on doing some of that. I know a lot of you guys like those swamp rides. I did get a new GoPro. My other two died, so I got one. Now I'm down to one GoPro right now, and of course my big cameras. This summer you can come film us setting bush, catch, clean, cook. Yep. I had to buy a new phone the other day. And this thing takes amazing pictures and videos, dude. I mean, this thing is unbelievable. What's going on, brother? Thanks for coming in. Turkey hunt. Yeah, I'm going to try to do another turkey hunt. Last year, there was no turkeys on our property. They were there before the season, and season came along and they vamoosed. Not exactly sure what happened to them, but sometime in late February, I only have about 20 acres that I turkey hunt on. So I'm gonna go I got a pop-up line, and I'm gonna take it and go put it out and set up on a ambush area that I know of. And if the birds come through, they're gonna come through there. And like I said, just set up an ambush, get a little ambush site, and hopefully one will come through. But we had a lot of water on that property as well last spring, and then the birds just quit coming. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, Charles, take care of yourself. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I hope y'all have a good hunt this weekend. I know you will, but keep me apprised of what goes on, and you be careful as well. That video you sent me, that was an angry ocean. Not yet. We're catching. We caught some rain today, and we caught some high winds. But and now the temperature is starting to drop again. I understand it's supposed to get down to like 20 degrees tonight, so it's on the way. They're calling for rain Friday and Saturday, which could turn into sleet or snow. So we'll see what happens. It's I just had there it is. Right now my computer is saying it's 45 degrees outside, partly cloudy. I don't know. I was told. I mean, I looked at the weather tonight and it said it was going to drop down to the 20s. I don't know if that's changed. We'll see. Winterizing the boat motor would be good. Different decoys and rig of yesterday to present. Yeah, I got enough of them. I got some old decoys around here. That wouldn't be a bad decoys and rigs of yesterday to present. That wouldn't be bad. I never winterized my boat, Jeff. I think this is the first year since I've had it where it hadn't been in the water 2 or 3 times. Watch Bougie, she'll let you know when it's coming to. Yeah. She was cold Saturday. I got her a new dog stand, and we tried it out. She seems to like it now. Like it a whole lot better than the last one we had. We do a lot more dog training this year too, guys. A lot more. She'll be 2 in February, and she's coming along, but she's got some more. She's picked up some bad habits. I got to break her of. I plan on doing that. 10 outside, -4 wind chill. Yeah, we had so much rain today, it filled my boat up. I had to lift it up quite a bit to get all the water out of it. You don't want that thing full of ice. I've already winterized the outside pipes, so I'm going to run to the hardware store, try to tomorrow sometime, pick up some more insulation for the pipes, some of the outside stuff. What else, bro? We got about 10 more minutes. What do y'all want to talk about for 10 minutes? No, I have not. No, I have not. I have not, Anti. I tell you, when she does, she's been, she's starting to get a little birdie here. Advancement of shells past to present. Yeah. She's starting to get real birdie now. about a week ago or so, we went on one hunt. I have not posted a lot of these videos yet. Still working on them. Having to go through a lot of stuff trying to put something together. But one of the things I noticed on her this year, she's starting to win those birds a whole lot better now, and she'd be swimming in the general direction. Especially if she didn't see it go down. I'm sending her on a blind, and you can actually watch her, and her head picks up out of the water. Her head will pick up out of the water, and she'll start moving around, and then she'll catch the scent, and then turn immediately and start heading that way. And she's been finding them. So yeah, I just don't have a reason to do that. I mean, that I can think of. Yeah, I've done some shorts, and the shorts seem to do pretty good. So it's time to, I need to work on some videos. I'm kind of thinking that I may save a lot of these hunt videos, for next year, and have them ready right before the next duck season. And then kind of do a montage of them as we go about. A lot of it's so low light videoing for wood ducks that you can't really see them. All you can see is the aftermath. And that's one of my biggest problems. I want y'all to see the ducks, and I just don't have the camera set up for those low lights. I am really hoping that this new iPhone will do some low light filming. And because it's new, the battery's good, and I'm going to set it up and hit record and do it that way. Maybe get some better video that way. It's really kind of hard to set up my big cameras to do that because the battery life is slim. I mean, it's just not because they're old batteries. It's just they won't last long. You can't run them the whole hunt. So, that's one thing. What else, gentlemen? Excuse me. How to clean that pit boss. I do. Speaking of which, I do need to clean it. I do need to clean that thing. Ooh. I got to run to the store and get some propane for my griddle. I'm out of propane now. Sounds like a winner, Randy. Y'all got water? You got water up there? I was on the little PD not too long ago, and it's got water. I have to bring the little one of the littler guns to hunt that. That's going to be some tight shooting. tight and quick. Oh, me, oh, my. Throw content out there and see what gets liked. Yeah. Yeah, I was going through a downtime period after last duck season. And I've been kind of still in that little slump. I got videos. I got all kind of stuff. My biggest problem now is filming from two different styles of cameras. My shorts, they need to be done on a phone. Not saying I can't transfer the information. It's just easier if you take videos and pictures from your phone to do your YouTube shorts, Instagram, TikToks, that kind of Facebook, that kind of stuff. The other cameras, the GoPros and the big cameras, are better for YouTube and Facebook, because if I put one on YouTube, I'm gonna share it over to Facebook. And getting similar content on all of on both, getting them both and then putting them out in a timely manner. That's the biggest issue. Tell Mark, I will let them know. I promise you I will. But that's the biggest thing. That's why I want to run this. When we start hunting, I've got a mount for it. I'm kind of waiting. Now I'm kind of waiting for my waterproof box to come in case it does get dropped. So Randy, you got my number, man. Text me and we'll try to put something together. I'd like to drive up there and see you. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for stopping by, man. You take care of yourself. Well, Randy, you got my phone number. Give me a holler, man, or shoot me a text message, and we'll try to put something together here shortly. I'd like to get up and meet you and meet your kids and all that. But, well, guys, we're down to 2 hours, coming up on 2 hours. That is my time limit here. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that have come in tonight. If you haven't heard, if you're still in here and you haven't heard, my good friend Mark Taylor suffered a heart attack last Saturday. He is in the hospital. He had triple bypass surgery. He is doing better. Everything seems to be going good. Doctor says everything is going good. The surgery went well. So I figure about another 4 or 5 days, he'll be in the hospital and be home, and it'll probably take him 6 or 7 months to recover. But if y'all would do me a huge favor and pray for him and his family, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, this is all, I'm here because of you guys. And if you haven't already, do me a favor, run over to www.daddyduck365.com. Get you some merch. Head over to Salt Creek Custom Ammunition. Take a look at their website. Find Keith make you just about anything you want. Give Scott Trulock a holler or get on their website for Trulock choke tubes, and go over to Etsy and look up Biscuit Built 3D. Look at their timber straps and their DIY decoys. And guys, that is it for tonight. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming in. Thank you so much. Y'all be careful this weekend. If you're going out hunting and you're in the path of that storm, be careful. Wear your life jackets. I can't stress that enough. Anyways, y'all take care, and we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365. Y'all have a great night and a great week.